channel.
Barkikadas, musta Arki-Life IV?
Kaya pa naman, Steph. Madaming gawain, pero go lang ng go, aba. Arki Bulldog yata to.
True! We'll bite our way through! Buti na lang talaga may online gala tayo today. At least makakapagpahinga tayo, di ba?
Tumpak ka dyan, Steph. Panigurado, excited na rin ang ating Barkikadas. Konting arc naman dyan sa comment section, guys, bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating arkitektur. Don't forget to like this video.
And subscribe to our channel!
Like and subscribe na, Barkikada, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. And of course, just like any other field trips, let's have an opening prayer to be followed by the national anthem of the Philippines.
Who compares to you? Who set the stars in their place? You who calm the raging seas that came crashing over me. Who compares to you? The hope of the earth is rest assured in your great love. You are magnificent, eternally wonderful, glorious.
kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Good day, Barkikadas! In celebration of World Architecture Day, UAPSA NU and NUASC welcomes you to the Online Fieldtrip arkitekTOUR. I am Ivy Auxilio, one of your tour guides for today. Are you all excited for our virtual field trip? How about you, Stephanie?
Hello, Barkikadas! I'm Stephanie Jose, also one of your tour guides. And Ivy, of course, I am so thrilled to have our online galaan with our Barkikadas. Imagine, we'll be touring around the world while relaxing in the comfort of our rooms.
I know, right? May dala ka bang baon sa field trip na to, ha?
Syempre naman! And field trip ba to kung hindi tayo naka-jacket?
Agree dyan. Kaya I'm sure that we aren't the only ones who are ecstatic about this field trip. Grab your snacks, jackets, and neck pillows, Barkikadas.
That's why, let's already proceed with our trip. So, Barkikadas, take a seat as we are about to go to our first stop. To start off the trip, we have the current UAPSA National University Chapter Advisor, Architect John Lemuel G. Lacuna, UAP and the College of Architecture Student Council Advisor, Architect Leiron Mark S. de Guzman, UAP, PIEP, DURP, to give us their inspirational messages. Let's give them a virtual round of applause.
To all the guests, VIPs, the organizing committee, to our Dean Chona Ponce, a pleasant good day to all of you. The pleasure is mine as you have chosen me to send an inspirational message to this World of Architecture Day celebration 2021 the National University Way. I am Architect John Lemuel G. Lacuna, the Chapter Advisor of UAPSA National University Chapter. We have such a lovely and timely theme for this World of Architecture Day, The title is A Clean Environment for a Healthy World. Because, the world has been in constant seek of solutions, to make our planet a better place to live in. And we, the habitants, are the contributors for making our planet more polluted and more susceptible to global warming. Add to that impact is the pandemic caused by COVID-19, and for sure, we surely want our planet to be cleaner and healthier. While we are the cause of the global warming, of course, we are also the solution. There are a lot of ways, a lot of measures, and some of it were already exerted by our world leaders, just to reduce the impact of global warming. And that's just one step, And as far as our profession is concerned, there are also a lot of ways already to be an advocate of cleaner and healthier environments. Personally, the most tangible effort I see are the emergence of the sustainable materials and design that are in constant rise of demand and development. There are also advocates of passive cooling, design, tropical-oriented design, and a whole lot of other measures just for it to be more sustainable. And what a creative way to celebrate the emergence of sustainability through architecture, the online field trip that you have formulated, that you call arkitekTOUR. Kudos to UAPSA NU and ASC for coming up with such an idea para maiba naman without even jeopardizing the intentions of the theme. We hope you will enjoy the learnings that you will cultivate through the entire virtual tour, although it's virtual, but we hope you get our point, and as we see the sustainability caused by architecture in relation to nature as well. Thanks to our speakers for giving their precious time, plus their efforts. There are a lot of efforts from them, and be of service to you, the students of architecture, especially the students of architecture from National University. Thank you very much, and may this World of Architecture Day celebration of National University get to inspire you to make our planet a cleaner environment for a healthier world.
Warm greetings to everyone as we are about to end the long month celebration of the World Architecture Day 2021. Let us all witness the wonders and architecture of different places through this online field trip that we're having today. Together with us an amazing set of speakers that we've accordingly invited to give you an amusing experiences. To officially open this event, I would like to welcome and give an early thanks to all the viewers, also to us recognize the efforts of all the people behind this event that is collaboratively made it possible. I hope that you are all geared up, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this arkitekTOUR.
Thank you very much, Architect Lacuna and Architect Guzman, for your motivational and insightful messages. Hearing you give us students those messages definitely help boost our confidence and determination. For our first destination, we have the architect Argel Miril Castañeda.
Isn't he currently an assistant professor at the National University of Manila? Yun is specialized in theory and history of architecture. Prof ko talaga yan.
Yes! And hindi lang yun. He also became the field architect in Makati Development Corporation, Avida Tower Centers in Mandaluyong City.
Wow! Ang sosyal! I heard that he also worked as a job trainee and volunteer in the National Museum of the Philippines. Tama ba?
Tumpak! He earned his bachelor's degree in architecture and his master's degree in cultural heritage studies at University of Santo Tomas in Espanya, Manila. Once again, off we go with Architect Argel Miril Castañeda.
Amoy usok, amoy pawis, mga aleng nagwawalis, itong batang naglilimos, kulang pa sa hilamos.
Uy! Tara na!
Kaya wait lang.
Uy! Tara, video na tayo! Video na tayo!
Wait lang, wala namang bayad to eh.
Night fam. Today, we are going to talk about the World Architecture Day. Teka! Magandang araw. Ako nga pala, si Argel Castañeda. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, isa po akong arkitekto. Opo, isa po akong arkitekto. Pag-uusapan natin ang tungkol sa World Architecture Day na may temang malinis na kapaligiran para sa malusog na mundo. Samahan niyo ako at dadalhin ko kayo sa isang lugar sa Luzon at magkakaroon tayo ng isang makabuluhang talastasan tungkol sa ating komunidad, kapaligiran at kalikasan. Humihingi po ako ng paumanhin para sa mga susunod na eksena. Ang lahat ng mga opinyon at pahayagan na aking babanggitin ay pawang sa akin lamang. Hindi po ito refleksyon ng kahit anong institusyon o organisasyon na ako'y bahagi. Patnubay ng magulang ay kailangan. Gusto niyo na bang makagala? Litong-lito na ba kayo sa MECQ, ECQ, GCQ, BBQ, o mahal mo pa ba ko? Ako rin eh. Pero magagawa natin ng paraan yan. Tara, sama kayo sa virtual biyahe ko. Once again, nabigyan na naman tayo ng pagkakataong makapag-share ng insights bilang mga arkitektong may pakialam sa kapaligiran. Ano nga bang pag-uusapan nating makabuluhan ngayong araw? Well, nabigyan ako ng isang task na ilakbay kayo sa Luzon. Ang sabi sa akin, gayahin ko raw si Drew Arellano. Well, magkasing pogi naman kami, di ba? Sige, I'll try my best, kaya silang kayo dyan sa comfort ng inyong bahay. Usapang ilog tayo mga classmates, no? Ilog na nagbigay ng buhay sa ating sibilisasyon. Andiyan ang ilog ng Cagayan. Ang ilog ng Cagayan ay isa sa mga pinakamalalaking ilog sa Pilipinas. Tumatagos ito sa 4 na probinsya sa Luzon, ang Cagayan Valley, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, at Nueva Ecija. Napakalawak ng ilog Cagayan, hindi lamang sa kanyang pisikal na sukat, kundi sa kanyang kasaysayan din. Napakalaki rin ng role nito sa kabuhayan at katauhan ng mga taga-norte. Paano natin bibigyan ng solusyon pang arkitektura ang pagtawid sa ilog? At paano nga ba dinidikta ng ilog ang pamumuhay ng isang komunidad? Tara, kinig tayo! Back at it again guys nga sa isa na namang video dito sa UAPSA para sa World Architecture Day. Yearly na lang natin itong ginagawa. Tapos, syempre, ako, alam nyo naman, love na love ko kayo guys. Kaya, hindi naman ako makahindi sa inyo, di ba? Sisikapin ko na dalhin kayo or samahan nyo ko, no? Kasi dadalhin ko kayo virtually, di ba? Sa isang lugar, sa Ilagan Isabela, kung saan magkakaroon tayo ng isang magandang diskurso tungkol, di ba, sa sustainable development. Sustainable development at the same time sustainability. Ang gusto kong mangyari sa dulo ng palabas na ito or sa dulo ng talk na to, makapag-engage tayo sa isang makabuluhang talastasan. No? So, this is a case study regarding the development, no, of bridges to the small towns of Ilagan. Since napag-usapan na natin yung tungkol sa sustainable development at sustainability, no? Maaaring may define natin ang sustainable development. Ano nga ba ang sustainable development, no? Siyempre, gumawa ako ng research at kumuha ako ng mga iba't ibang mga sources, no? And according to the TikTok video, joke lang. According to the United Nations, no? Siyempre, yung definition ng United Nations yung basically kaya natin sundan at kaya natin maintindihan. So it is defined as the development that meets, di ba? The needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So ibig sabihin, it's a long term, no? It's a long-term concept, no? Kahit tayo hanggang sa susunod na generation natin, makikinabang pa rin doon sa development na gusto nating iparating, no? Or doon sa development na gusto nating ma-achieve, no? Okay, so one might ask, di ba, the difference between sustainable development and sustainability, no? So lahat ng to nanggagaling sa definition ng US. Ang sinasabi dito, no, na meron daw apat na dimension ang sustainable development, no? This is number 1, society. Number 2, environment. And number 3, the culture, diba? And number 4, the economy. They are all intertwined at magkakasabay-sabay silang lahat kino-consider. Hindi pwedeng nawawala yung isa. Okay? So ano nga ba ang difference ng dalawa? Well, ang sinasabi dito, sustainability is thought of a long-term goal, no? While sustainable development refers to many processes and pathways to achieve it. Okay? So ibig sabihin pala nun, para ma-achieve mo ang isang sustainable, di ba? Sustainable community, sustainable environment, di ba? You have sustainable developments, di ba? In order for you to achieve those kinds of sustainability. So, since pag-usapan nga natin ang sustainable development, di ba? punta tayo ngayon sa mas specific na subject natin, the rivers. Okay? So, as far as we know, dito sa Luzon, meron tayong dalawang mighty river. Okay, meron tayong dalawang mighty river na pinanggalingan ng ating civilization. As far as we know, as far as history is concerned, di ba? All great civilizations start from the rivers. Okay? So, pag meron kasing ilog, no, mataba ang lupa. Maganda ang lupain, no? Kapag maganda ang lupain, maraming vegetation. No, pag maraming vegetation, ibig sabihin maraming hayop doon. Pag maraming hayop doon, no, maraming mga ngaso. At syempre, maraming pagkain. At meron tayong pangkabuhayan. So, history aside, di ba? Madedefine natin ang two mighty rivers natin, ang dalawang great rivers natin dito sa Luzon, which is yung Pasig River and na Cagayan River. Gusto kong mag-focus doon sa Cagayan River. Doon sa Cagayan River na yon, okay? So, siyempre may mga tributary yan. Pag sinabi nating tributary, yun yung mga veins, no? Di ba? Kung may main artery, okay? May veins yan. So, yung veins na yan, no? Yung mga veins na yan, ang mga malalaking ilog din yan. Nagka-create din siya ng mga ilog, which is nagiging source ng pangkabuhayan nung community, nung isang community na naninirahan doon malapit. Okay? So, namumuhay na tayo, nagkakaroon tayo ng isang healthy, no? isang malinis na environment. Dahil nga, meron tayong ilog, no? Dahil meron tayong body of water na nagsusustain ng life talaga doon. Hindi lang buhay or hindi lang life sa ilalim ng dagat or sa ilalim ng tubig, okay? Buhay din na sa ibabaw ng lupa. Kaya malaki ang ginagampan ng role ng ilog with regards to sustainability talaga, di ba? Pero syempre, all resources katulad ng ilog, hindi naman siya pang forever. Okay? Hindi naman siya pang forever. At nauubos din siya, nawawala din siya. Okay? So, in this case, dadalhin ko kayo sa isang maliit na community, no? Sa isang city within Isabela, okay? Which is Ilagan, Isabela. No? Ilagan, Isabela is where I was born. Okay, so pwede natin pwede nating pag-usapan tong topic na to kasi tignan muna natin, no, kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa mga maliliit na community bago tayo pumunta sa usaping urbanisasyon. Magandang pag-usapan or magandang tipping off, 'di ba? Na topic natin today is about small communities, no? Small communities that may have a large impact, no? Yung mga concept na pwede nating ilagay doon or yung mga pwedeng ideas na pwede nating paghugutan. So, as I've mentioned kanina, yung mga tributaries natin, which is yung Ilagan River, no? Yung Ilagan River is a tributary of the Cagayan River. Sa tabi ng Ilagan River na yun, may mga communities doon. Okay? Specifically, may gusto akong ipakita sa inyo. Dito tayo pupunta. Okay, sige. Punta tayo dyan. Punta tayo dito. Okay? Punta tayo dyan sa Bayan ng San Antonio, Cabecera 8. Okay? So, papakita ko sa inyo yung Google Maps, no? Yung Google Maps showing the proposed bridge, no? Ng Cabecera 8. Okay? So, malaking question ng sustainable development itong bridge na to kasi i-describe ko sa inyo, no? This is an overflow bridge. Okay? An overflow bridge is a bridge that sadya inaanod talaga ng tubig. So, natatabunan siya kapag mataas yung water level. Okay. Pangalawa, this is an overflow bridge na hindi lang dito sa San Antonio meron. Okay? Iba't ibang parts, no, ng tributaries ng Cagayan River meron yan. Una, ang gusto nating pag-usapan dito, what's the purpose of the bridge? Okay? So, is the bridge considered as one of a sustainable development ng community? So, as far as we are concerned, di ba? Ang isang bridge, ang purpose niya talaga is para ikaw ay makatawid from one community to another. So, one place to another, di ba? Safely. Tingnan natin ang significance nitong overflow bridge na to, no? Ang malaking question dyan kasi I have done my research and also I have done my interview. Ang sabi nila, it's an overflow bridge kasi ang purpose lang ng community na yun is to have a farm to market access. Ano ba yung community na nandun? Isa-isayin natin sila. Kasi syempre, pupunta tayo sa apat na paradigms ng sustainable development. Okay? So, the community, okay? Community is more on agricultural. So, nagde-depend sila sa mga paninda nila. Ang livelihood nila is based mostly on agriculture. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nila ng bridge na yun, no? To safely cross the river between one community to another, farm to market, no? So, you are going to cross that bridge when it is only necessary. Nasabi ko nga kanina na, no, according to my research, na the local engineers, the PWH, I have interviewed, and also an architect sa LGU namin. It was proposed as a temporary bridge. Okay? Temporary bridge pero concrete siya. Okay, so it's a temporary bridge. It's made to be an overflow bridge, no? Accessible only when it's dry season. Siyempre, kapag wet season, hindi mo na siya ma-access, di ba? Hindi mo na siya madadaanan kasi nga, ang naging concept niya is a submersible bridge, no? So, kapag dumadaan yung baha, or kapag tumataas yung water level, natatabunan na rin yung bridge na yon. Therefore, you cannot cross the bridge, di ba? Di ba sabi mo, ang bridge, ang purpose niya dapat nadadaanan, tapos kaya niyang mag-accommodate or kaya mong tumawid sa kanya from one place to another, from one community to another, di ba? Bakit ka pa maglalagay ng bridge doon kung natatabunan din naman siya ng tubig or nag-overflow din naman yung tubig sa kanya, di ba? Well, actually, alam mo, may point ka, no? Pero tignan natin yung konteksto muna, no? Ano ba talaga yung main problem ng community? Actually, nung nag-interview ko, sabi sa akin, no, ang kailangan lang nila talaga, merong isang link, no, na papuntang town mismo para makapag-transfer sila ng goods nila from their farm, tama, di ba? Papuntang market, no? Tapos yung market na yun, ang magdi-distribute naman ngayon noon ng pagkain or ng goods nila, no? Papuntang city, outside, from town to city na siya. Okay? So, dati kasi, pangtawid lang ng produkto nila nung dati, bangka, tsaka balsa. Di ibig sabihin ba nito, hindi siya sustainable, hindi siya sustainable development at ginawa lang siya na band-aid solution para sa community, para sa lugar. Well, sa konteksto ng kanilang community, di ba, nasolve naman nila yung kanilang problema, no? Kung magbabase tayo sa 4 dimensions ng sustainable development, di ba? Sabi nga natin din sa definition ng UN, natugunan naman nila, di ba, yung hinahanap ng community, di ba? Natugunan nila yung 4 dimensions, which is yung una, di ba? Society, di ba? Society, sino bang nakinabang? Di ba? Lahat naman sila nakinabang. Pangalawa, yung environment, no? Minimal lang yung interval na ginawa nila doon sa paggawa ng bridge at pagbuo ng bridge. Okay? So, kinonsider din nila ang pressure. Kinonsider din nila halos lahat ng pwedeng maka-apekto. Kaya, nag-resolve na lang sila or nakapag-decide na lang sila na mag-design ng isang submersible bridge. Pangatlo, culture, di ba? Actually, meron malalim na connection, no? Ang mga tao sa ilog, no? Bilang mga ibanag, okay, di ba? Ibig sabihin, people of the river. Malalim ang connection ng mga tao, no? Ng mga ibanag. Hindi lang sa physical na pangangailangan, kundi sa spiritual din. Okay? So, syempre, ang panghuli, ang economy natin, no? Ang economy, ibig sabihin, ano nga ba yung pinaka-main source ng pagpapropose ng overflow bridge na yun, di ba? Syempre, yung pangkabuhayan, di ba? Ng community doon sa San Antonio. Okay? So, actually, hindi lang naman ito yung nag-iisang submersible bridge na pinropose nila, no, sa Ilagan Isabela. Actually, napakarami na ito. Hindi natin maiwasan, no, na ma-question, no, bakit pa tayo nagkakaroon ng bridge na mga ganon, di ba? Kung sa huli, inaanod din naman pala siya ng tubig or natatabunan din naman pala siya ng tubig, di ba? Siguro, panahon na para mas maging long-term, no, ang pag-iisip natin regarding sa mga development na gano'n. Marahil marami pa tayong dapat matutunan at maintindihan sa usapang sustainability. One step at a time, ika nga nila, no? At kailangan natin ito simulan sa malinis na kapaligiran. Bilang mga susunod na arkitekto ng bansa, matutunan sana natin siyang mahalin at mapanatiling malinis, hindi lang ang paligid, kundi pati na rin ang ating mga intensyon. Dahil iisa lang ang ating tahanan. Muli, ito nga pala si Architect Castañeda Hanggang sa susunod kong biyahe. Paalam!
Thank you, Architect Castañeda, for your wonderful insights. What you've shown us really is amazing.
Nga, para nakakainganyo naman puntahan yung San Antonio sa Isabela in person. Ang fresh lang.
True ka dyan, Steph. Sama mo ako, ha? Libre mo ako, please. Joke lang.
Kung may pera lang ako, baka bilhan pa kita ng eroplano.
Asahan ko yan, ha? Abangan natin yan, Barkikadas. Pero ngayon, let's now go back to our plane so we can fly to our next destination in Luzon.
Oh, it's time for trivia time! Do you guys know the importance of green architecture? Well,
Green buildings are designed to reduce the overall impact of the built environment on human health and the natural environment by efficiently using energy, water, and other resources, protecting occupant health, and improving employee productivity, reducing waste, para mawala na yung pollution, and of course, yung environmental degradation.
that's right. Iba ka talaga. Nakikinig yun sa prof. That's why as a student, architects have the responsibility to balance out our clients' needs and as well as use our roles as a tool to protect our environment. Right, Barkikadas?
Agreed, Steph. Especially given the current state of our surroundings, kailangan talaga natin gampanan ang responsibilities natin sa ating Mother Nature. And oops. Pakisuot na ulit ng seatbelts, ha? Because it seems like we are already landing at our second stop.
For our second speaker on this online field trip, he is the current managing partner in Asian Architects and a member of the Philippine Navy Board of Advisors.
Not only that, he also obtained his bachelor's degree in architecture from the University of Santo Tomas in 1979 and became an architect in 1981.
Plus, he also experienced being the designer in Philippine Foundation CAD Incorporated, a designer in Guangdong and Partners in Hong Kong, and the founder of Asian Architects.
OMG, bigatin talaga kasi he is also an advocate of sustainable architecture. Off we go with Architect Miguel Guerrero. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Actually, putting plants is a very small component of green architecture. Let's take it from the definition which I made. Green architecture is designing with nature. So unang-una, when we design with nature, we have to look at the resources which we are going to build with, which nature will provide, no? Nature provides the resources. Secondly, we are going to design a structure, and the structure has to be fine-tuned to the climate and environment which you're going to build in, and that environment is also given by nature. For example, in the Philippines, we are a hot and humid country with typhoons and earthquakes, so we are designing according to that. And especially for designers, nature also provides us the inspiration to design. That's why there's such a thing called biomimicry. We look at nature, we see how nature builds, and we try to mimic that, no? So in essence, designing with nature looks at nature as providing us the resources, providing the environment, and providing us the inspiration for our design. And go further, when you see the video, you will see the concept of practical green. There are two basic parts of practical green. working with nature, which is all of the things maximizing what nature giving us, and assisting nature. Kasi minsan at some point, nature cannot provide us with so much. Like for example, masyadong mainit, so we have to use technological gadgets like air conditioners and fans. Or at night, we need light. So these are the things which we can help nature make us more comfortable. So it's working with nature and assisting nature. If you notice in the video, there's one word which keeps on coming out, repeated and repeated. It's building orientation. And I think that is the most basic and most important and fundamental foundation of doing green. No? Because what is building orientation? So you orient your building so that it takes in less heat from the sun, east-west. Dapat maliit lang yung portion ng building sa east-west dahil mainit yun. It has a longer side facing north-south dahil you can get in a lot of natural light from the north and the south. And it is a way to capture the wind which comes from the northeast and the southwest, amihan and abagat. So very critical ang building orientation. And I think in the slides presentation, I highlight that very much, building orientation. Matter of fact, I even end with building orientation, sana all. So in other words, every single project na ginawa natin, dapat implement mo kaagad yung building orientation na tama. Because with that, once you have the right building orientation, madali na magkaroon ng green building. Dahil unang-una, it's going to be cooler inside, and therefore you'll need less energy. Second, it's going to be well lighted with natural light, therefore you'll need less electricity for artificial light. And third, it's going to be a healthy building kasi nagkakaroon ng cross ventilation na nawawala yung toxin sa loob ng bahay, palaging may fresh air. So there, no? So that is a very crucial part of doing a green building, starting out with the building orientation. Sa akin, the solution to greening Metro Manila is by each architect doing his own share in each particular building. Tapos yun, kakalat yan. Mahirap yung galing sa taas, by law, mas madali and mas maganda kung galing sa baba. Bottom-up approach. Start with the architects, start with the individual structures and houses which you can actually renovate, or may term ako dyan, green-novate. Kung i-adjust mo yung bahay mo na, gawin mo green na, diba? Kaya tawag ko green-novate. What I think the perception of green architecture is expensive comes from is because of technology. Because many people assume or think that green architecture involves solar panels, all these little gadgets and technology. Yes, it is part of green architecture. But if you go to the basic and the foundation of green architecture, the foundation of green architecture is actually passive design. And that passive design is no difference between a regular house and a greenhouse. all architects have the responsibilities. Let's put it this way. Nature is perfectly sustainable. Now, humanity is trying to carve out our villages, our dwellings within nature. And who is doing who are those doing those dwellings? The main profession doing those dwellings are the architects. So, as architects, we have a responsibility to nature so that we do not damage the cycles of nature, we do not cut the cycles of nature. And we have responsibility to the people. Because if we damage nature and we make people suffer because of our poor designs, then they will get sick, then we're actually threatening our own survival. No? So architects in general, by carving out our built environment in nature, we have responsibility to nature and we have responsibility to people. The whole problem is that people on the ground do not understand climate change. They do not understand what is carbon footprint. They do not understand what is greenhouse gas. They're interested only, okay, what am I going to eat later? Okay, am I going to be healthy, etc. So, ibang frame of mind. So that's why for many, many years, more than 15 years, I've been pushing the concept that the solution to going green has to go from bottom up. Again, babalik ulit sa individual architects and then doing greenhouses, even if it's not a requirement of the owner. Just do it. You don't even have to tell people that you're doing green architecture kasi it's our responsibility for all structures, no? So, how is it going to work by going bottom up? Unang-una, you do a home green. You don't tell the owner. But then when the owner starts living in it, he realizes he feels more comfortable, it's naturally brighter, he's healthier, and then when he gets his bill for the electricity and water, it's much lower than his neighbors. So, siyempre, nagkukumpulan sila, no? Pare, alam mo yung kuryente ko last month, grabe, ganito, 1,000 lang. Ha? Paano na gumagawa yan? Yung architect namin, ganito ginawa niya. Uy, sama kami dyan. So, the neighbors start doing also what they're doing. So, it starts growing, no? Then the LGU probably notices it, and then they will implement it. In fact, it is good. Ideally, dapat yung LGU, lahat ng LGU buildings or government buildings should be already green so that people can actually experience it and then it will filter down. So, again, it starts with an individual architect. Project by project, house by house, building by building, people experience it. And then they know that you have a building in which you can save in terms of operation, and a building which makes you healthy. And then that's what they understand by green, no? They will not understand green as, oh, we are saving the world, or we are saving climate change, we're reducing greenhouse gas. Na wala naman connection sa kanila. But if they, I'm saving money, I'm healthier. Patok yan. Kakagat sila sa green architecture.
Thank you, Architect Guerrero! That's really amazing. Thank you for sharing your wonderful insights. Let's now go back to our seats, Barkikadas, as we are about to fly to our third destination.
Wait, what's that sound? Do you hear that, Ivy?
Yes, I certainly do. It's another trivia time. Barkikadas, did you know that Frank Lloyd Wright is the most widely recognized sustainable architect?
Oh, yes, ito ba? He's the architect of Solomon Guggenheim Museum, right? Tsaka Pulitzer Award siya, diba?
Correct ka dyan, Steph. Nakikinig talaga to sa class, di ba? Alam natin yan. And si Frank Lloyd Wright, he shaped the way architects design green today. He designed structures to blend in with their surroundings in organic ways.
Wow, that's amazing to know. Oh, wait, Ivy, it looks like we are nearing our third stop.
Our next speaker is the principal architect of MJ Basco Architects and a private practitioner for 27 years based on Cotabato City.
Not only that, he is also a member of United Architects of the Philippines. Meron pa, he is also an area coordinator of UAP Center for Filipino Architecture. Off we go with Architect Marlo Basco in Mindanao.
Assalamualaikum, formerly known as the Office of the Regional Governor of the now defunct Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, this two-story government center was built in 1976. 2014, it was renovated and currently the office of the Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. This structure witnessed the historic events of Bangsamoro as it unfolded in Muslim Mindanao. Significant features of this building are the green roofing, which was formerly red with panolong carvings, its tall Islamic arches, its grand center staircase, and of course, its ochre motifs as decorative accents on walls, columns, and on iron grillwork. Sa Cotabato Old City Hall. This heritage icon was built in 1936 by a famous Filipino architect, Juan Arellano. This was the original home of the municipality of Cotabato. Built during the American period, this is the only existing Islamic-inspired government structure up to this day. When Cotabato was charted into a city, this was used as the City Hall until the city relocated its office into a new building along Sinswat Avenue. Today, part of this building was used as a mini museum. A well-planned restoration is much needed for this structure to retain its historic splendor. Buenos dias! Welcome to the old provincial capitol building, the former seat of the Empire Province of Cotabato, from 1914 until its dissolution in 1973. This was later used by the Philippine military for some time. This historic building is located at Piedra Colina Hill in the heart of Cotabato City. This was built during the American period in the early 1900s. This structure of wood and concrete still stands today and was renovated in 2018 by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines with the intent of putting up a regional museum.
Actually, the building was built, as I've said earlier, in the late 1970s. So as I see, because I was not the architect, it was somebody else. The building is two-story. They were able to, I think, as I see it, as an architect, in the architect point of view, the use of big windows, wide open spaces, especially if you see the exterior part of the building, they have big overhangs, canopies that encourage walking outside the building as well as inside. And at the same time, it prevents heat coming from the outside because of these awnings or canopies. So in a way, big green architecture was there during that time, but as you can see, that building is an old building built during the 70s. The building was recently restored by the funding of the local government unit of Cotabato as well as the support of the Department of Tourism. The building is located within the Rizal Park in the heart of the city, and it is now used and converted into a museum. So in a way, there's that what we call adapted reuse. You just don't tear down the building or build another building, but this time, to save the building for another use, they put a small museum there, a library. So in a way, you're trying to recycle old buildings to new ones that can be used for another purpose. That's saving the environment as well as the structure in a way. With due consideration to the needs and usage of the building. Kahit siguro nung panahon na yon, hindi pa naman uso ang green architecture, di ba? Although they already practice it in their own little way. As you can see, green architecture can be defined in many ways. It's a philosophy of designing buildings that create lesser negative impact to the environment. As I see these buildings built by the architects during those days, the use of what you see, natural light, efficient flow of design, as well as the use of materials that are found within the locality is one way of promoting or using green architecture during those days. Actually, matagal ng green architecture, it's being practiced nationwide, not only here in the Philippines, but all over the world. But in the Philippines, it's just only recently that architects are become aware of it. But as you can look around, you can see buildings that were built even during the early days or during the days of American or Spanish period, that they make use of natural materials, natural ventilation, wide open spaces, big windows, high ceiling. This help promote green architecture as well as create lesser negative impact to the environment. That's how I see it. But today, hopefully, especially you among the young generation of our architecture field, you try to create. You have more. What do you call? You have more capacity. You have more chances. You have more challenges that will help promote green architecture, especially here in the country. First of all, thank you to you, the National University College of Architecture Student Auxiliary, as well as to Dean Chona Ponte for inviting me to be part of this celebration of the World Architecture Day. I hope in my own little way I was able to share to you through those videos that we showed earlier. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Architect Pasco, for your wonderful insights. Calling all Barkikadas to get back on their seats as we are about to take off to our fourth stop. We're going international. We're going in Hong Kong!
Ang sosyal, bongga, Hong Kong!
Truly, kahit virtual, nakakapag-international.
Nako, pakitalian ako pag ako dumiretso sa Disney. Baka mawala ng trabaho yung mga princess na yan.
Ay wow, princess yarn? Sama na lang po ako sa palasyo mo, Ivy.
Pwede naman, kaso ako yung princess tapos ikaw yung kumakanta-kantang daga or ikaw yung kandila, di ba? Joke!
Alam mo na iba talaga kapag singer ka. Sample ba? Joke.
Nako, mukhang maling-mali ako ng hinamon. Pero, while we are waiting to land in Hong Kong, we have another trivia time! Do you guys know what green architecture or green architects do?
Well, to answer that, Ivy, the green architect or designer attempts to safeguard air, water, and earth by choosing eco-friendly building materials and construction practices. Since green architecture is an approach to building that minimizes the harmful effects of construction projects on human health and the environment.
Yes! You are 100% correct ulit. Bigyan ng jacket yan.
Princess ka, si Kuya Will pala.
Jacket lang ang meron. Ganun, walang 5,000. Jacket lang. And just in time, we are now landing at our fourth destination.
For our fourth speaker, she graduated BS Architecture in University of Santo Tomas. She took up Master of Architecture specialization in Architectural Heritage of Conservation. Has a postgraduate diploma in Urban Management Tools for Climate Change. Finished Master of Philosophy in History and is currently taking up Doctor of Philosophy in History at the Chinese University of Hong Kong.
Grabehan, ang galing! Isn't she also a lead architect for the construction of the National Museum in Manila?
True. Aside from that, she is also a teaching assistant in Chinese University of Hong Kong in the Department of History. Off we go with architect Claudia Montero. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard. Once you have located your seat, we ask you that you please step out of the aisle. Seven passengers behind
already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. I can be your third man dog. Just a symptom you've forgotten. You slip me in your pocket, turn on the television now. Set me in the corner now, and Technicolor's your bed. Oh, won't you hear me out? You're painting all my features and everything you needed. Don't put me on the shelf, no. I'd never find another. Don't ask me what my name means. I don't believe in that. Conversations one-sided, they pull my strings and watch me come apart for you. I don't believe in that. Trouble speaking whenever you're Last night you caught my eye, so fly, oh my, I've been thinking about you all night. I can't get you off my mind. I'm out on deep water, it's too late, I've crossed the border. I'm bitten hard by Cupid, babe. Hurry, I need to be saved. Hurry with all the cliches.
Hong Kong Bank was different. It was the first tower without a central core. The lifts, the staircases, the mechanical equipment has been taken out and is expressed on the sides for all to see. So you can see through the building. It's open free space. It's more like a gallery than an office building.
Last night was magical. What a
The inception of the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 marked the delivery of SDG number 11. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. and tasked architects worldwide to take inspiration and to commit in putting into practice this monumental promise. Given the leading role of the architect in how cities are envisioned and designed, the architect can directly shape the outcomes of a design process to the betterment of a community's overall quality of life, sustainability, social equity, health, and resilience. In owning this central role, the architectural community can reimagine and tackle issues in a holistic manner, addressing the larger needs of a collective social responsibility through the SDGs. The act of designing buildings consistent with the SDGs ensures we are creating healthier places and, therefore, healthier people, communities, and societies. The SDGs as a whole reiterate the importance of cities both in terms of their vulnerability and as well as their growing opportunity. As the world and the many cities encapsulating these design environments aim for a more balanced and equitable and sustainable urban development, the multitude links through the direct and indirect relationships with other sectors and industries alongside its vast value chain has clearly shown the fact that the field of architecture can accelerate progress with its stakeholders towards all 17 SDG targets and the 169 associated targets encompassing an inclusive culture of sustainability.
Thank you for your wonderful insights, Architect Montero. Okay, Barkikada. Let's now
Speaking
go
of
back to our
Singapore,
place.
gusto ko
We can
talaga
dive to our
makapunta
next
sa Palau
bonus
sa Macau.
destination is
I'm sorry for butchering the name.
Singapore! Kaya nga eh. Tapos tourist spot pa.
Truly, ang amazing, di ba, na yung landfill, pwede pala maging actual island.
Really? The one in Sydney, Australia?
Ecologically and economically friendly, grabe yung innovation. Ayan, ang tunay na win. Pero ngayon, it's time for trivia time! Did you know that One Central Park is the most famous green architecture? Yeah! It's a park at the foot of a building that continues up the structure as the vegetation of 250 species of Australian plants and flowers covers One Central Park. They look pretty, shade the buildings, and send an undeniable statement. Isn't it amazing, Barkikadas? Oops! Wait. Mamaya na ulit ang trivia time because it seems like we're already landing in our fifth stop.
For our fifth speaker, he is currently an architectural designer and the BIM manager in Buha Architects PTA LTD in Singapore.
And he earned his bachelor's degree in architecture from Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila with full scholarship in SYDP-QC.
Wow! Scholarship cutie! And he also specializes in architectural consultancy processes, including design, preparation of presentation materials, design documentation, and project management. He also experienced working in LPPA Design Group Incorporated in Manila, Philippines as the architectural designer and TAV architect in arkitekTOUR Manila back in 2007.
Hindi lang yan, dahil before he became a manager, he first experienced being the architectural and BIM coordinator in different big companies in Singapore. Off we go with architect J.R. Mendoza.
Architecture and technology.
Okay, anyway, I'm just blabbing. That's not my real voice. By the way, I'm Jay. I'll be trying to tour you around to the Singapore Pavilion at Expo 2020. As you can see on the bigger screen, it's the master plan. Okay, come on, let's go. Here's the sustainability district, and here is where the Singapore Pavilion is like stationed. By the way, this one is like a 3D interactive view. Actually, the Philippines is pavilion is I think stationed here in Jubilee. Okay, let's go in. Come on. Probably it's stationed on this one, Philippines, which is the so-called Bangkota. Okay, I'm not going to discuss that since I'll be here in discuss the Singapore pavilion instead. Okay, go back to the master plan. And here, sustainability district. By the way, the pavilion is designed by a team from Singapore-based architectural practice, WOHA, helmed by architect Wong Min Sum, where I'm currently working. Okay, so now let's discover the Singapore Pavilion. Singapore is showcasing its vision of being a city in nature at Expo 2020 in Dubai, where more than 190 nations will come together for what is billed as the world's greatest show.
Welcome to the Singapore Pavilion. The pavilion is centered on the theme of nature, nurture, and future, and is made up of multi-layered greenery that creates various usable spaces. There are multiple experiences within this pavilion that highlight different aspects of our theme, demonstrating how efforts to conserve nature and create nurturing environments all contribute towards a sustainable future.
The ground garden features lush plants, trees, shrubs, including Singapore's national flower, the Vanda Miss Joaquim orchid, and a phytoremediation plant. Phytoremediation is a process that uses various types of plants to counteract and manage contaminants. Here's, by the way, is the multimedia gallery. It's a surround screen. 3 theme cones, Rainforest City, and Flower Cones. Each house exhibits the showcase Singapore transformational urban journey, with solutions to pressing urban issues as well as efforts to create a sustainable future. The structure includes a ground-level garden and galleria, which cascades upwards to a canopy walk, hanging garden, sky market, and finally a solar roof. Self-sustaining pavilion is powered by photovoltaic panels on the glass roof, which harness the sun's rays to generate electricity. Clean water is drawn from below ground level and desalinated inside. The Riley's fans atomize water that immediately cools the interior spaces, lowering the temperature by between a perceived 6 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius. Overarching theme of nature, nurture, future is illustrated by the profusion of lush greenery that pervades the entire 1,550 square meter pavilion through hanging gardens and tree cones that are covered in more than 170 varieties of tropical plants in the sustainability district.
We hope you have enjoyed the experience of the Singapore Pavilion.
Okay, that comes to the end of our interactive virtual tour to Expo Dubai 2020 for the Singapore Pavilion. But let me share some people who play an important role in making this project like so huge and grand. Okay, play BTR please.
Hello everyone, I'm Yuhan from Salajara Singh. We are the landscape architect for Singapore Pavilion in Expo 2020 Dubai. This is one of the 3 robots that we have designed for the pavilion, and the robot will move around the vertical topography of the cone. And what the robot will do is that they will monitor the plant's health and collect atmospheric data. And throughout the 6 months event, it will do machine learning to recognize plants. We see it as an ambassador of the plants, as it will be conveying mixed emotion from the plants to the visitors. This is my favorite palm in this pavilion because it is a very special palm. It only flowers once in its lifetime. We look forward to see you here on the 1st of October.
Hi, I'm Kundan Sim from Woha Architects. And welcome to the Singapore Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai. Woha is the architects of the Singapore Pavilion. We are very excited to bring Singapore design to Dubai. In the center of the pavilion are 3 green cones, and the entire pavilion from the ground, the vertical and the ceiling is filled with greenery. So you get a full immersive greenery experience when you walk through. This very green pavilion is a net zero energy pavilion. It's fully covered with 517 solar panels to give the energy needs for the entire pavilion throughout the expo period. In addition to that, we have a desalination reverse osmosis system that supplies the water for the entire use of the pavilion, including irrigation as well as cleaning operational needs. This is my favorite part because there's a fan here. You can enjoy. We look forward to seeing you here on 1st October at the Singapore Pavilion.
Okay, that comes to the end. Thank you everyone guys in joining me for this interactive virtual tour. Thank you for inviting me again. And the way, I'm Jay, and thank you very much. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Architect Mendoza, for your wonderful insights and that amazing presentation.
Ang ganda naman ng pavilion na yan. Ang sosyal, pati yung 3D interactive presentation ha. Sobrang ang sosyal talaga. Parang laki ng budget. Pengen naman po. Joke. Parang ang sarap tuloy galaan nung pinakita ni architect.
Kaya nga eh, please lang pandemic, umalis ka na. Anyways, Barkikadas, let's go back to our places as we are about to take off to Dubai!
Uy! The City of Gold!
Pakihanda ng lata ko, Ivy. Mamamalimos ako ng gold sa Dubai.
Yes, Steph, i-ready ko na rin yung akin. Ikaw tutugtog, tas ako sasayaw. Takatakdo is going international. And of course, teka lang, mamaya tayo magtakatakan, okay? Kasi it's time for trivia time. So, kanina pa tayo nagtatackle about green architecture, sustainability. But do you guys know what does green architecture truly mean? How about you, Steph?
Of course, study years yata to. Green buildings are designed to reduce the overall impact of the built environment on human health and the natural environment by efficiently using energy, water, and other resources.
Correct! 100 points ka na naman, Steph! Uma, 100 ka talaga palagi-lagi. Nako, yung plates mo lagi yung 100, no? Pahingi naman po. Joke lang. Ayun. Green architecture is also about protecting occupant health and improving employee productivity. Ayun nga. Para mawala na yung pollution or kung hindi man mawala, at least kahit papano ay mabawasan. And mapangalagaan natin ang ating environment.
Green architecture truly is beautiful and refreshing.
Now, we are finally landing in the beautiful Dubai.
For our last speaker, but not the least, he is currently the project architect and business development executive of the National Engineering Bureau (NEB), a top architectural and engineering consultant based in Dubai.
Not only that, he is also named as the first country representative at the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. Habitat? Not only that, he is also named as the first country representative at the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat by the CTBUH Board of Trustees. He was worked on hundreds of projects ranging from retail shops and housing projects to large-scale towers and resorts as well as hotels and master plan developments in his 18 years of professional career.
Pa tayo natatapos dyan. He is also the first Filipino to represent the MENA region in the council and the first recipient of the 2016 Young Architect of the Year Future Cities Award.
OMG, ang daming awards! And he was presented with a prestigious Crystal Trophy by Flip Flop Media at the annual ceremony at the Governor House, Dubai Marina. Off we go with architect Christian Vasquez.
Hello, I'm Christian Vasquez and welcome to Expo 2020 Dubai.
Today we are going to visit Terra, which is the Latin word for Earth, the Sustainability Pavilion, which was designed by UK-based architects Grimshaw, with exhibition designed by New York-based studio Think. Sustainability is that we need to be living in balance with nature, drawing inspiration from complex natural processes like photosynthesis. The dynamic form of the pavilion is in service to its function, capturing energy from the sunlight and fresh water from humid air. The canopy, cantilevered over the building 130 meters from left to right, the length of 5 blue whales in a line, covered in photovoltaic cells that captures energy from the sun, and it also draws in wind in the courtyard beneath, make it very pleasant to be down there and a couple degrees cooler than the outside. The canopy also serves as a large collection area for stormwater that replenishes the building's water system. The result is a structure that combines the most advanced technology in solar capture and a clear understanding of the natural conditions of the site to actively generate energy while passively cooling and enhancing the experience of the visitors. When creating a building with a goal of generating its own energy and water in a harsh climate, the solution cannot be driven by a single aspect of the design. To achieve net zero, the design required a series of technologies, building system, and design solution to act in unison. The Sustainability Pavilion is complemented by an installation of energy trees. 19 energy trees ranging from 15 to 18 meters in diameters are dispersed throughout the site and provide 28% of the energy required to power the building. Inspired by the dragon's blood, a tree found on the Socotra, an island 200 miles off the coast of Yemen, the E-Trees is designed to be a deployable, freestanding shade structure that harvests sun's energy. The structure is constructed from steel and complex composite and has been optimized to support an 18 meters photovoltaic array. And these are very quite inventive and interesting devices, where it was manufactured in Dubai. And it's one of the first time carbon fiber was used in a building industry that allows them to create sophisticated and very lightweight structures that can track the sun just like the sunflower does. In Terra, you use your own journey. Not only that, you play a character in the story of the exhibition as it unfolds. You have a choice on going under the forest or under the water. For now, let's choose under the forest. And with that, it introduces you to the part of the ecosystem wherein the environment you may have not known about. Expo 2020's main theme, Connecting Minds, Creating the Future, is the starting point for Terra. We live on a marvelous planet, filled with wonders that is threatened by the way we use its resources. By reconnecting to that sense of wonder, and by thinking through what it is we really value, we can come together around common aspirations and conceive of a new way of living and better ways of making our future. If we notice the world around us and we grow more aware of what it is we really value, we can come together to shape a planet we will all want to be part of. This immersive ramp of animated forest that reveals the vast network of communication and nutrients sharing among the tangled roots of trees. This wood wide web, part of the unseen wonder of the natural world that is threatened by our vast culture of consumption, is also resilient and able to restore itself if humans give it a chance. Terra brings to life the UAE's and Expo 2020's commitment to sustainability, taking millions of visitors on an immersive journey through the wonders of the natural world and inspiring them to create a cleaner, safer, healthier future. Its emotive visitors experience, developed in close collaboration with Think and Eden, tells the enchanting story of humankind's relationship with nature, while addressing negative environmental impact caused in large part of human behavior, helping visitors, the young generation in particular, to understand their impact on the environment, break the cycle of consumerism, and become agents of change. The pavilion itself is a testament to its theme, setting a benchmark for sustainable building design. This will extend into the Expo 2020's post-event legacy when it becomes a Children's Science Center in District 2020, the new city that will evolve from the Expo site. Inspiring sustainable choices for generations to come, in legacy, the Sustainability Pavilion aspires to be self-sustaining building generating 100% of its energy and water supply. Terra is an adventure and a journey into a planet and ourselves that is unlike anything elsewhere in the world. The collaboration with Eden and with Grimshaw, driven by the vision of the Expo team to create a unique visitor's experience, has produced a journey that blends fantastical environments, great storytelling, deep science, and a very human experience that from early observation and response moves people deeply and changes the way they understand the world. The Sustainability Pavilion at the Dubai Expo 2020 marks a huge leap forward in establishing a new, sustainable form of landscape architecture in the Middle East. The landscape design features countless innovation and trials of new materials with the hope that future design landscape will adopt and build upon this project. More than 100 new plant species were brought into cultivation as part of the landscape design, many of which were grown from the seed collected in the UAE's wadis, deserts, and mountains. The pavilion's pavings, another unique aspect of the project, was created by Desert Inc. with local flooring contractor and incorporates recycled glass and waste materials from the metal smelting industry. This signature paving material is visually striking yet also highly sustainable. The landscape design for the Sustainability Pavilion is without a question one of the most sustainable constructed landscape in the region. The use of native and adaptive plants alone ensures that the design requires a fraction of the irrigation required by the conventional landscapes. During the development of the pavilion, the design team were accurately aware of the project's economic viability is just as critical as its environmental sustainability. Truly sustainable developments deliver the greatest value for the longest time at the lowest cost to the economy and the community. A truly collaborative enterprise, the pavilion is a testament to the wonderful relationships, mutual respect, and cross-fertilization of ideas between the project stakeholders. Terra, the Sustainability Pavilion, opened to the public in 2021 as one of the top 3 attractions of the Expo 2020 Dubai and aims to illuminate the ingenuity and possibility of architecture as society looks to intelligent strategies for future sustainable living.
And that is Sustainability Pavilion here at Expo 2020 Dubai. Again, I am Christian Romulo Vasquez, and I'll see you on our next virtual tour.
Thank you, Architect Vasquez, for wonderful insights. Sadly, this tour is nearing to its end. It's nearly time for us to go home.
But before that, we just want to express our gratitude to our speakers from Luzon, Mindanao, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai. Once again, thank you, architects. Thank you po sa pagdalo sa ating online field trip.
Parang ayaw ko pa umuwi.
Ako din, Steph. Kaso tayo yung tour guides. Tayo yung tour guides nila. Tapos, di tayo may desisyon.
Okay lang yan. Kaya niyo yan, Barkikadas. Joke.
Hoy, magla-landing na ulit tayo sa Pilipinas. And before we end this program, let's all sing our new hymn.
and ring that notification bell
para updated kayo sa lahat ng videos namin.
Thank you, Barkikadas, for joining us in our trip today. We had fun and we hope you did as well.
We are honored to be your tour guides for today. We hope that you learned something new from our arkitekTOUR. Again, I am Ivy Auxilio.
And I am Stephanie Jose, signing off.
Thank you, Barkikadas. We'll see you on our next program.